If you've never had homemade yogurt, you don't know what you're missing out on. It costs just a fraction of the price of store-bought, and it is very simple to make. The actual time of preparing the yogurt does not take very much time at all. Basically, all you have to do is put it on the stove and get your milk up to 180 degrees. Once it gets to 180 degrees, you let it cool down to about 115 degrees. Once it cools off to 115 degrees, you just take a starter culture, which is any kind of yogurt that does not have flavorings or colorings or anything like that in it. Just basically, if you was buying it at the store, that would look like a plain organic yogurt. So once you've made the yogurt one time, you can take a little bit of your last yogurt and put it into the new one, and you don't have to keep buying more yogurt. Basically, at that point, it's just the gallon of milk that you buy. You can buy regular store-bought milk. What I will be using today is raw milk that I buy from a local farmer. In Michigan, you have to buy a share of a cow in order to buy raw milk. I won't go into all the details about the benefits of raw milk, but from a standpoint of flavor, the raw milk has a much better flavor. So the first thing you'll want to do is get your jars ready. I'm only going to do a half a gallon today because that's what I have available. I washed 2 1-quart jars and I have them sterilized. I don't always sterilize them, but I'm sure it's a good step to take to make sure you don't have any bacteria in your jars and to make sure that they're nice and clean. Once your jars are clean and ready, you can start warming up your milk. I have my jars already sterilized and ready to go, so I'm going to head to the stove and get my milk warmed up to 180 degrees. With raw milk, you have to shake up your milk because the cream always rises to the top whenever it has not been pasteurized. So I'll get this shook up. And I'll get it in my pan. And I'll start it out on medium-high. You want to keep a really close eye on it because you don't want it to scorch. If you scorch it, it's no good. You'll want a whisk or something to be able to stir your milk with as you go, just to make sure it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan. You'll want a thermometer like this, or a candy thermometer, or something that you can keep an eye on the temperature of the milk. The nice thing about a thermometer like this is it has the hook on the back, and you can hook it to the side of your pan. So we'll want our temperature to come to right about here. So we'll keep stirring it till we get it to that temperature. Our milk is up to 180 degrees, so I can get this turned off. And I will probably put this in an ice water bath to cool it off faster. I'll need to get the temperature down to 115 before we put our live cultures in the milk. You can just let this sit on the counter until it cools off to temperature, but I want to speed up the process so that I can get this in the cooler and have it ready before bed tonight. So you might see that there's a skin on the top of the milk after you let it cool down. You can either take that off or whisk it in. I think I'll take it off this time. I don't always, but I think I'll take it off. You want 2 tablespoons of live active culture, which is a yogurt that has live culture in it. I'm using some yogurt that I made before, and this was some that was left over, so I'll use some of this. I have a half a gallon of milk in here, so I'm going to put a 1/4 cup, which is 4 tablespoons. So I'll be putting 4 tablespoons in a half a gallon of milk. Some people put the milk in their jars and then they add the culture to their jars. I like to mix it up here in the pan first and then just put it in the jars, but You could do whichever way you like to do. With cooking, it seems we all develop our own habits of doing things different ways, and if it works, keep doing it. So you'll want to whisk it until all the lumps are gone. And we did let the milk cool down to between 110 and 150, and you want to make sure that you do that. Otherwise, you'll kill the live cultures that are in your yogurt culture, and it will not turn into yogurt. Okay, I have that mixed in good enough. I don't see any lumps. I'll grab my sterilized jars to get this poured into the jars. A canning funnel is helpful to help avoid spills, unless you have a really steady hand at pouring. I'll just divide these up between the two of them. I'll get the lids on them. I'm going to boil some water to put in jars to put them in the cooler to help keep these warm. Okay, I got my water to boiling. I'm going to pour it in these extra jars I have here. I put some hot water down inside of the cooler to help temper them because our house is cold. I don't normally do that, but I'll fill these jars up with the boiling water. You always want to temper glass because otherwise you could shatter it by putting boiling water on it. I'm going to have to heat some more, but I'll get the lids on these two that I have finished. While I heat some more water, I'm going to put this yogurt down in the cooler so they can stay warm against these other two jars that do have hot water in them. And I'll close the lid and get some more hot water made. I have the rest of my hot water here. And I'll fill these other two jars. And I'll put the lids on these. You'll want to push these hot jars next to your yogurt so that it keeps them hot. And I'll get the lid on this. And it's going to sit here for 6 to 8 hours. They're all done. Let's take them out and see what they look like. Look at that. Take a look at that yogurt. It's nice and thick, and it has such a good smell to it. I'm going to put a little bit of raspberry jam on top of it to make it extra good, and we'll give it a try. This jam was from raspberries that we grew in our garden last year. I always try to pick them at the peak of ripeness, where they're very ripe and a lot more flavorful. So the jam is just extra amazing. Doesn't that look good?